Greetings, my henchmen. For today's agenda, we will stick to the formula we've used for 5 years. No need to fix what isn't broken. Your orders are to continue pushing the Sonic movie, and how amazing it is, while also repeating the issued talking points regarding Birds of Prey. It is crucial that we make sure people who liked the film know it didn't do well at the box office. They must be told that their opinions are invalid due to the financial failure. Be sure not to mention that Sonic is a family film and Birds of Prey is rated R, as this will allow people to apply nuance and context to our false dichotomy. Also, create a palpable anger towards Birds of Prey, and perhaps your followers will attack Gail Simone on Twitter, despite her having nothing to do with the film. That's just bonus points. The quartering. You're barely hitting your quota every week of saying get woke, go broke. Do not make me publish those photos of you laughing at Chudlogic's Crowder meme. That is a punishment you do not desire. Everyone but my son, Doom Penis, is dismissed. Son, I know it's hard for you to keep up with the other boys due to your limitations, but I have a special assignment for my special boy. An anonymous post on 4chan says Margot Robbie was so upset by your videos on her movie that she crapped her pants and punched a hole in her car. Do not seek the primary source or question this. Just make a video about it and how it proves our content works against the evil SJW Shadow Council. The Satanic Justice Witch Council is making its next moves, and you need to begin preparing now, my son, so you aren't embarrassed in front of your friends again. The council will soon begin promoting Black Lady James Bond and another SJW Marvel flop, Black Widow. Black Widow will be a flop even if it makes 3 times its budget and is #1 for a month, so you need to start saying that now. Finally, my child. Please, please clean your face toilet. It's disgusting in there. I know you're very generous and welcome anyone to utilize your special toilet mask, but you have to clean it, my little buddy. Don't make me tell you again. DOOMCUCKED out.
Forced adversity.
Woke agenda.
Pro SJW feminist fans of Birds of Prey.
Trash, woke trash movies.
Hertzman hates DOOMCUCKED.
Hey, so this show is called Forced Adversity. And if you get the wordplay there, you're probably gonna dig the show. I've been studying these crusty grifters for a few years now, and I think I've got them figured out. I wish I could say that human rights and socioeconomic progress are what motivated me to start making this content, but the truth is this. I've been in various fandoms for as long as I can remember. I was born into a nerd family long before being nerdy about comics and movies was considered the norm. Yeah, that's hipster of me, but it's just a fact. My earliest memories are of Star Wars, Star Trek, and sneaking into my older brother's room to read his comics. Back in the old days of Star Wars and comic fandom, we argued with one another a lot. But it wasn't about the politics of the content, and it wasn't hateful. Back then, the politics of the day weren't so on the surface. Things weren't so spicy. Since around 2012, I started seeing something new in just about every fandom, and it's only grown. White dudes who talk real confidently about how politics are ruining my comics, and eventually Star Wars, and more recently Star Trek. I know it's also a big deal with shows like Doctor Who, but I've never been a big fan, so I'm not going to get too much into it. I'll leave that for the Whovians, who I really respect and totally support in their love of the Doctor. In those olden times, we argued about which characters were more badass, which stories were best, which creators we loved, which powers worked on what character or not, and how could they counter it, just, stuff like that. It was true fandom. We loved the material even when it wasn't its strongest because we knew a new creator or story was right around the corner. Even as kids in those days, we were more mature and rational than these anti-fans who rewrite history as if we can't look back and see that Marvel has always been progressive. I made a whole video on that, so maybe check that out after this one, but only after. And now, they're pushing the narrative that Star Trek went woke because it explores religion, xenophobia, or refugees fleeing natural disaster, or because it has black or female main characters or something. It's obvious these dudes haven't watched Trek since maybe they were children, if at all. Trek canon is full of these real-world parallels. The real difference is today, they're not restricted by such puritanical broadcast censors or Gene Roddenberry's restrictive writing policies or Rick Berman's regressive control of the franchise. For more on that, check out Renegade Cut's video about Berman.
I am female. I was born that way. I have had those feelings, those longings, all of my life. It is not unnatural. I am not sick because I feel this way. I do not need to be helped. I do not need to be cured. What I need, and what all of those who are like me need, is your understanding and your compassion.
So I'm excited to finally talk Trek on this channel, my friends. But unfortunately, it's in the context of a dude with a toilet on his face who's just been flat out lying and grifting Trek fans for years. And there's proof. Allow Ketwalski to explain it.
All of this started a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, when a 4chan post popped up saying that supposedly Seth MacFarlane was looking to engage in some kind of negotiation with CBS with, the help of NBC to purchase the rights of Star Trek, which, by the way, is quite possibly the dumbest of the rumors that I've probably heard so far. No, CBS is not going to be giving away their flagship series by any means. This is pretty stupid. Moving forward a little bit more, we get another post that kind of details some more information regarding the current status of Star Trek, but this is where things start to get a little bit interesting. So the first post that kind of catches my eye is this one titled Star Trek at CBS info/leaks, whatever this is. Bunch of different things about Discovery being canceled, and there's no Section 31 show, and there's no Picard Season 2. All of these different things. Very standard rumor stuff. All unsubstantiated information. Nothing particularly exciting there, but again, continuing on with the rumors. Then we go to another post where things kind of took a turn for the weird and kind of strange, I guess, where this 4chan post titled Kurtzman Furious CBS Leak, where apparently Kurtzman punched a hole in an 85-inch television because he found out that Doomcock made another video about him. God, it sounds so stupid when I say that out loud. And then that's when I found this post, and now this is where the story gets rather interesting. So this was posted up today, and it's just, essentially all about Doomcock, and they're having a massive amount of discussion, literally trolling and laughing at Doomcock, and I assume probably by extension the rest of the Star Trek fandom menace group, because they have been feeding direct lies to all of them to essentially get them to make videos about all of these nonsense rumors, and it completely worked. They just simply exposed them for being exactly what they are, which is people that have no insider sources and no actual rumor control at all in terms of information leaking out of CBS and Paramount and all that other stuff like that. All they're doing is getting their information from either made-up sources or 4chan.
So Doomwiener, son of Doomchud, gets his insider info from anonymous shitposts on 4chan. And then he just blindly makes videos about them. This is why any sane Trekkie looks at his content and thinks, what world is this guy living in? And why would anyone working in Star Trek shows give him info? I mean, he's got a piss receptacle on his face. Doom Dingaling fell for a brilliant troll job and without questioning it, ran with the anti-Trek narrative that feeds his bias and his subscription base. But more than that, it feeds his wallet. And his idea of journalism is pretty common these days, unfortunately. You find something that supports your bias, run with it fucking hard, and never ask questions. The 4chan poster had been baiting him for a while to earn his trust, and when he had Doom Dinky's attention, he gave up the gold. That Star Trek producer Alex Kurtzman was so angry about Doomschlong's videos, he punched a giant TV in the Star Trek offices. There was a little more to it, but that's the absolute tastiest bit. Here's Doomwang gloating over his ultimate victory.
That said, last night Anonymous posted yet another leak on 4chan entitled Kurtzman Furious CBS Leak. Buckle up, gang. Here's where the fun begins. I now read the post. Shit's getting real hilarious here. Kurtzman saw Doomcock's video after one of the writers shared it with him, and he went on a massive rampage through secret hideout offices. He believes it's one of the writers who was forced to work on his failed Section 31 project who keeps leaking stuff. He actually threatened to fire everyone if the leaks don't stop, said they wouldn't be able to work anywhere. Everyone just kind of shrugged, and someone said, except the Orville, that really set him off. This leak continued. Kurtzman punched a hole in an 85-inch OLED in the office. Kurtzman hates Doomcock. It's nice to know that as much pain as Kurtzman has caused Star Trek fans, the mere mention of my name, the merest waft of a Doomcock-scented breeze through the windmills of Kurtzman's mind, the merest shadow of my smile, throws Kurtzman into the kind of frothing fit of F-bomb fury usually reserved for an epileptic with Tourette's syndrome who dropped a hammer on their toe.
I've seen this guy get real weepy and dramatic in his videos, saying corporations like Marvel, CBS, Paramount are replacing our childhood memories. He literally said that. And he does it on the back of absolute pure bullshit. I'm not sure I can name another grifter as absurdly obvious, at least one who operates in the same level of reality as QAnon or flat earthers like he does. Yep, that's it. Doom Micropenis is the QAnon of anti-fandom. Also, he's got a urinal on his face. Doomwinky's response to being trolled in such a legendary fashion was to equate anonymous 4chan posts with the Bible. It's stupid on at least 3 levels. Fans deserve better than to be scammed by mental who are too lazy and or dishonest to do even the most basic journalistic vetting of their info. Like I said in the Watchmen video, these anti-fans don't operate with any degree of objectivity. They just use each other's content and look at user reviews that are probably their fans on Rotten Tomatoes, and they act like that's proof of the bullshit that they spew. It creates a feedback loop, and unfortunately, a lot of good Trek fans are probably stuck in that loop without even realizing it. I'm not sure if it's just stupidity, though I'm sure that plays a role, or if he's just a lifelong loser who found a nice little grift and maybe he's entirely aware of his con. That is one of a con man's best weapons and defenses: plausible deniability. It's legitimately difficult to tell how much of their grift is just a low EQ, low IQ cult mentality, and how much is just a shameless snow job. That's what we'll be exploring on this show. Not just the predictable tactics and thinly veiled bigotry these dudes peddle in, but really try to understand why their brains are so rotten. What has led them to become so antisocial and fixate on something that they allegedly used to love, but now they find nothing but contempt for it? Let me know in the comments if you think it's pure idiocy or just dishonesty that motivates them to make a profit. I expect that what will happen if Doomtwat hears about this video is his followers will attack my channel, call me names in the comments and on Twitter, and not address a single valid point I've made. They'll make excuses for how he bought into that 4chan post, probably countless 4chan posts in his career, and that's fine. You know, I expect that. But if you're a fan of Doomdong and you find yourself kind of receptive to what I'm saying, I want you to know you're welcome here. You don't have to agree with everything I say, but if you're hearing something that kind of clicks and you start to kind of notice the farcical tactics for what they are, stick around. This show isn't just to dunk on guys like him. It's to provide
Actual context
around these franchises that I've loved my literal entire life. I want more people to be fans of these things, to see the value of the stories and the characters that's always been there. Value that speaks to not SJW agendas or forced diversity, but humanity and progress. There's real beauty in embracing the themes of Star Trek, Star Wars, comic books, whatever, rather than bash your head against a wall in anger while the dudes making videos laugh all the way to the bank. So if you hang around comments without being abusive or hateful to me or my community, I genuinely welcome you. Discuss, debate, but don't push your agenda. It's not even your agenda, it's theirs. You're just a puppet to them. A foot soldier who's being exploited for your passion while people like Doom Dildo profit from you. Rise above it, man. Be better than that. Be better than them. But if you just can't see past the forced diversity, woke equals broke, SJW narrative, if you're committed to defeating your phantom enemies who want to eliminate all white men from entertainment or whatever, here's the more sane option. Stop calling yourself a fan. Stop defining yourself by shows and movies and other things that you just don't like. You're not going to make these media companies start doing shows the way you think they should be. They're not going to betray their franchise's inherent themes. And they're definitely not going to cater to the fraction of fans who hate it, because most fans don't. And they're making money. It makes no financial sense for a corporation to look at a small fraction of hateful fans who don't like something and go, oh, we should definitely fix it for that. Doom Dingus has been doing the same game for years. So has Midnight's Edge, who I'm pretty sure operates from similar false sources, if not the exact same ones. If these dudes had any impact on the industry, why are woke shows and movies still being made? You have to see this for the scam it is, man, when you look back at the timeline. If anything, since they've begun making content, the woke SJW stuff that they hate has only increased. Even if any of it was true, let's just assume it is all true, okay? There's some agenda to force diversity into things. Nobody wants it. Consumers don't like it. Okay, let's pretend that's true. But if it is, they've been doing this same thing for years and haven't changed anything, so they're incompetent. On that note, what the hell does woke mean anyway? I mean, I get what it used to mean before it became a meme. I've seen these guys say a show with a black woman lead character is woke before the show even came out. It's hard not to think that that's a little bit racist. It's one thing to see the story that happens in something and say, oh, well, that's just an agenda or whatever, but to just see a commercial for a new Star Trek show and a black woman is the main character and to start calling it SJW garbage or whatever, kind of raises some eyebrows, dude. I've seen them say that movies with a Hispanic character or two are woke. It's nonsense. Check out the short video I did on the anti-SJW movie strategy, aka the art of the grift. In that, I point out how something is woke when they want it to fail. And if the movie fails or just doesn't hit number one, it's a bomb. They'll make endless videos about how it's a bomb, like they're doing about Birds of Prey right now. It's actually kind of insane, really. I guess it gives them some sense of purpose, and hey, we all need that in life, but they're just feeding that outrage gland in their brain. This is a symptom of an unwell mind. Mental illness. And I'm not joking around or insulting anybody either. I take mental health very seriously. I'm legit concerned about these kind of guys. They're fixated on things they hate for weeks at a time, months on end, watching videos about Brie Larson that all say the same exact shit, just from different dudes. It's actually scary when you think about the constant rage cycle these people are in and the paranoid outlook that they have fostered for themselves. Tulsi Gabbard supporter and big fan of a certain World War II hero, Tim Pool, also recently fell for a similar 4chan troll. And it was about the current anti-SJW box office battle narrative of Sonic vs. Harley Quinn. Allow Chud Logic to explain.
But let's get back to Sonic.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Because I want to read.
Sure.
So, look, there's not a whole lot to say about the movie in terms of like a review. But
they're making up. Let's get to these tweets, man. Let's just talk about it. We can't show them. That's fine. But we can talk about it, right?
Right. It's because one of the tweets says one of the YouTube naughty words.
Oh, okay. So we can't bring it up. But
No. We can say what they said. No. It's easy.
Oh, okay.
Let's read.
Well, all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's pull.
I don't know where we're at here.
So it says Twitter user LS Mark took screenshots of some of the tweets noting Birds of Prey fans seeing the Sonic movie as a threat to their dumb Harley Quinn movie flopping at the box office and trying to spread lies about the Sonic movie to make people not want to see it is the funniest thing I've seen in a while.
So obviously there's a recognition there that it's some sort of campaign, right? But they sort of jump to the idea that it's like furious feminists and like birds of prey stands that are behind it. But when you actually look at the tweets, you can kind of see the absurdity of that and why it's so ludicrous that they would suggest that. So I've got the original tweet here from this LS Mark person, right? And yeah, so this is like the copy pasta here. So I took my husband and 2 sons to go and see #Sonic movie and was appalled to hear homophobic slurs used throughout the movie. Luckily, Birds of Prey was showing in the next room and my family had a much better experience. And that precise tweet, word for word, is also here, right? So you've got obviously some sort of copy pasta going on. And also none of these tweets have got particularly large engagement, right? But the thing is, the idea that this is like some campaign by Birds of Prey stands is completely absurd. What's more likely is that this is some sort of like 4chan psyop or something like that. Like, you know, I don't know for sure what's behind it. I'm sure with a bit of digging you could find out. Find out. So yeah, and the thing is as well, if you search I took my husband, look, watch this. I took my husband and 2 sons. It actually comes up and you can find all the tweets with the same text, and there's like absolutely loads of them. So, you know, from the looks of it, it's just some sort of copy pasta that people are using, right? And in fact, if you then look at like the Quarterings video about it, so we're cutting straight into the sort of point that I want to make here.
Lawrence, I took my husband and it's like copy pasta. I can't believe they managed to ruin a childhood hero with Sonic movie. The way they portrait the character is completely different than from what we know and love. I suggest you all watch Birds of Prey, an awesome movie with well-known characters and things done right. Obviously, interesting. You know, some of them are obvious jokes, right? Some of them are obviously jokes, but it's interesting because what will happen is, what happened was, the media will pick it up. And that's exactly what's happening. According to VG 24/7, it's already happening. Harley.
Yeah, I mean, just because the media's picking it up doesn't add any validity to it. It's just some fucking troll somewhere has started this absurd copy pasta. And, you know, they're obviously painting it as, look, salty Birds of Prey fans try to sabotage the Sonic movie. It's completely absurd to reach the conclusion that this has got anything to do with Birds of Prey fans. And then this is obviously the original article that Tim Pool referenced. So yeah, and what's funny about this is you look down here and it's like, Birds of Prey fans are toxic SJWs. So yeah, checking out tweets from the toxic Birds of Prey movie fans who make up a vocal minuscule shows they're attempting to curb conservative fans and families' desire to see Sonic. Oh my god. Absolutely absurd. I cannot believe, and this is the thing, I don't know whether it is that like the Quartering and Tim Pool genuinely believe that this is like a concerted campaign by people that like Birds of Prey, or whether they know that it's completely bogus and complete bullshit, but they report it as that anyway because it feeds into their narrative. But either way, you know, they've made this content suggesting that Birds of Prey fans are behind this. It's completely ludicrous to reach that conclusion. There's absolutely no evidence to suggest that these, you know, disparate accounts are all like Birds of Prey stands. What's more likely is there's a bot involved, or it's a 4chan troll, or there's some other sort of copy pasta going on behind the scenes. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly throw this video together and get it out there, just to sort of dismiss this narrative that seems to be building. And you know, for me, the most ridiculous thing is the idea that like Sonic, a kid's film based on a fucking video game, would be like at the forefront of the anti-SJWs now is so completely laughable.
Thank you, my friend. The link to Chud Logic is in the description. He does frequent streams and they're goddamn hilarious. Alright, so this first episode is kind of just a primer for the series. It'll be a little bit more refined from now on, hopefully. I really appreciate you giving this show a shot. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that red guy right there. I've got some great content lined up, including a collaboration with a YouTuber who's way too big and popular to be slumming it with me, but he's gonna be in a video nonetheless. Look for that next month, but I'll be doing a lot of cool stuff before then. Thanks to Intellectual Darkwave for his sexy intro, and for just being an awesome guy. Give this video a like, because that goes a long way to pleasing the algorithm gods. See you next time. Peace.
Doomchud demands you ignore everything this cuck just said about my son. Doomcock is a special boy with special gifts. That Captain Cuck America is just jealous of my son's infamy, and that he caused Alex Kurtzman to punch a TV. My son and I aren't driven by an agenda, even if it looks that way when you realize the same group of channels are regurgitating the same content at the exact same time all the time. The movies they infect with their wokeness are designed in a facility to shrink men's genitals via light waves from the films themselves. Every time you see a movie with a woman or minority as a central character, you are reducing the girth and vascularity of your penis, and your testicles shrivel by 3% for every half hour of watch time. Don't let him fool you. We are the honest ones. I'll prove it. Just let me find an anonymous 4chan post that supports my point.